What's up everybody, I'm Suman TMG here, and if you are new to this channel then hi, my name is Suman Tamang and I'm a first year civil engineering student currently studying at Pulsuk campus, Lalitpur. So I had been thinking about making a video on this topic since a very long time, but since I am an expert at procrastinating I just kept on putting it off. But today is the day, so without further ado let's jump right into the video. Last year my board examination was supposed to start from 24th of November, but the virus started to show its effects in Nepal, and around the end of October the first lockdown was imposed. Initially I thought that the lockdown would not go pretty long. I thought that it would go on for about a few weeks and our exams would be held on time. So I just kept on continuing what I was doing at that time, that is prepare for the board examination. But the lockdown kept on being extended, and by the time our examination was supposed to start, that is the 24th of November, I had finished revising pretty much everything of physics and chemistry. Unfortunately, I could not go back home from Kathmandu at that time, and the productive activities that I could do at that time were very limited. And I felt that preparing for the IOE entrance examination was the best thing I could do at that time. So for the next couple of months I somewhat just locked myself inside my room and kept on smashing sets from the question banks and the other online platforms that I had access to. After months of just staying inside my room and not seeing greenery at all, I was very desperate to go back home. So when I finally got the chance to go back home, I just packed the important things that I felt like I needed the most and hurriedly hopped onto the vehicle back home. And when I was there at home, the routine for the board examination was published. At first I freaked out. I did not know what to do. I had no books, I had no notes, and I did not know if I could cover everything on time. Yes, I could have gone back to Kathmandu and stay locked inside my room and read from the notes and books that I had there, but I just had a feeling that I should just stay at home and give my examination there, and I also did not want to put my health at risk by going to a crowded place. So I just decided to stay at home and give the examination from there. Fortunately, we were given the option to give our examination at the nearest examination center from the place where we were staying, so I decided to stay back home. I had a little over a month to prepare for the board examination. I marked the dates on my calendar and I made a plan. In fact, I just modified the routine that I had been following before that. Before I started preparing for the board examination, I used to do 3 Pomodoro sessions, 3 50/10 Pomodoro sessions in the morning from 6 to 9. And in those Pomodoro sessions, I used to revise for the IOE entrance examination. But I filled those time blocks with physics and chemistry. Depending on the topic that I was doing that day, I either gave 2 Pomodoro sessions to physics or 2 Pomodoro sessions to chemistry and 1 Pomodoro session to the other subject. And during the day from 11 to about 3, I did mock test for the IOE entrance examination, and after that from about 4 to 6 I did mathematics. Let's dive a bit deeper into what I did and how I actually did them. So starting with the mornings, as I said earlier, I did 3 Pomodoro sessions in the morning, and in those Pomodoro sessions I did physics and chemistry. So for physics I had made a list of all the theory that I had to practice and revise, and I had made a similar list for chemistry where I listed all the chemical reactions and theories that I had to learn. Since I did not have any physical books or notes, I had to learn everything from online resources. I used NCERT books as a reference. I read from them, I learned the figures from them, and I typed their notes on Notion. I did that especially for physics. For chemistry there was more memorizing than understanding. So what I did for chemistry was, at first I read the content from the resource that I had and I tried to learn that, and after I felt like I had learned a significant amount of content, I typed that on Notion and I again looked at the resource if I had missed anything, and if I had missed anything I would fill the gaps by taking the reference of that resource. I also made sure to revise the content that I learned the previous day before actually starting the content that I had decided to read that day. I had also made a list of the chemical reactions, the important chemical reactions of chemistry that I had to remember, and I practiced them quite often. I don't think this is the most efficient way to study chemistry, but that worked well for me. Whenever I had a hard time remembering different facts, formula or chemical reactions, I just wrote them on a sticky note and I pasted it near the TV. And whenever I saw that sticky note, I tried to remember what was actually written on that sticky note. And usually I did not remember all of that, but gradually and ultimately they helped me learn the piece of information. After my morning study session was over, my next study session began from 11 and that extended to about 3, and during that study session I did mock tests for the IOE entrance examination. I usually used to get about 2 sets done, but sometimes I just did not feel like doing it, and in those situations I either read the Nepali book that I had somehow managed to get from one of my siblings, or just read the summaries of the chapters of English that I could find on the internet. And in the last study session of the day, which began from 4, I used to do mathematics. I had a very hard time finding the right resource to prepare for mathematics. I actually did not find any book that was quite helpful for the board examination, so I searched on YouTube and I found a YouTube channel called Department of Information Technology, and it was of great help. I found everything. I found all the lectures that I had to review for the examination, and I went through all of them every day. I watched them on 2 times speed, and whenever they showed a question, I just paused the video and I tried to solve the problem given to me. If I found a hard problem or a problem that I felt like it would come in the examination, I just took the screenshot, stored it on Notion, and looked back at it the next day. You might be wondering why I did not give much time to practicing numerical problems of physics and chemistry. Well, that is because before I started preparing for the board examination, I had spent hours and hours of my time practicing for the IOE entrance examination, and during that time I had solved, I think, thousands of problems of physics and chemistry, so I was confident that I could do almost every type of problem that would come in the board examination. So I decided not to give much time to practicing numerical problems, and I decided to give more time to learning the theory of physics and chemistry. So that was all about how I prepared for my board examination last year during lockdown. I have learned quite a few things from experience about how we can score better in board examinations, and here I want to share a few tips that you could find helpful to score better in board examinations. So let's go with the first one. Before we start studying, we need to get a bird's eye view of how much we have to study and how much time we have left, and by evaluating the time we have and the content that we have to learn, we have to make a proper plan and start executing it. Making a proper plan and executing it is probably the best advice that I can give to you to score better in an examination. In my opinion, we ourselves are our biggest obstacles in achieving our goals and getting things done. At the back of our mind, we know that we have a ton of work to do, but we just feel like lying on our bed and scrolling through social media. If we want to do well in anything, we need to stop procrastinating. Start now. A mistake that many of us make, and which I am also guilty of while preparing for the board examination, is that we spend too much time practicing numerical problems and not having enough time to cover other topics when the exam approaches. Well, this is something that we need to work more on. We need to be aware of the fact that the probability of the numerical problems that we have practiced coming in the board examination is far less than the theory that we have learned coming in the same examination. The return input ratio of learning theories is far greater than that of practicing numerical problems. Also, We cannot solve the numerical problems properly if we do not have a good understanding of the theory that is applied to solving the numericals. So we should dedicate more time to learning and understanding the theory first, and after that we can move on to solving numerical problems from the past papers. Since we are in lockdown, we spend most of our time inside and in front of screens. Studying in such conditions for very long durations can drain our energy, so if we want to perform well in examination and if we want to avoid burnout, then we need to take breaks. I hope that this video was of some help in one way or the other. If you liked the video, then please smash that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is it from me for now. See you in the next one.